for refuge. Gu Nanshan stood in the front and coldly asked, "Run. What are you running for?" He then slapped again. Before the ancestor of the feathered tribe could react, the green light flashed once more. The onlookers were startled and broke into a cold sweat. Someone said, "The Changxing Gu family, one ancestor is enough to destroy the entire feathered tribe." Another woman exclaimed, "I heard that the Gu family has more than one ancestor." A man with a single horn on his head frowned, his expression serious, as if deep in thought. Inside the passage, the great elder said, "I knew we shouldn't have let him out. The immortal ancient clan is no longer in its former glory, how can it withstand his torment?" Meanwhile, Gu Xianer gasped, staring in shock. Gu Chang'e sneered from below, saying, "Look at yourselves, you should have known better. Why bother now? Now, will you choose to submit, or—" Before he could finish, the ancestor of the feathered tribe interrupted, "Submit. We choose to submit. We will be slaves and servants, obeying the orders of young Master Chang'e, even if it means death." Gu Chang'e smiled slightly and said, "Good. I, Gu Chang'e, have always been compassionate. I will give you a chance, but you must submit and provide me with a list, write down all your names." At this, everyone exchanged glances, their faces full of concern. The great elder hesitated, this. Gu Chang'e's face grew cold. Gu Xianer anxiously said, "I didn't expect him to make the feathered tribe kill each other." The great elder snorted, "Humph, this kid is truly a born villain." A bloody storm broke out within the feathered tribe. The great elder cried out in pain, "Ah!" After the battle, Gu Chang'e's name became an unshakable existence in the hearts of countless cultivators. A few hours later, on ships with their sails fully spread, someone exclaimed, "The immortal gate has appeared. Perhaps there is an opportunity for immortality inside." Another shouted, "Quick! Don't miss the chance." Gu Chang'e stood on one of the ships, thinking, grab it. The good stuff has already been mostly taken by me." On another ship, someone suddenly screamed, "Oh!" Chang'e thought, the anger of the ancestor will soon turn towards me. But his power, I still need to keep using it. The immortal lineage doesn't want to help me. I must think of a way. A calculating look flashed across his face, and he secretly thought, got it. Xianer, the 27th princess of the Sea King's lord, died because of you. Gu Chang'e turned around and said, "Everyone, thank you for your hard work on this trip." A general from the Taichu demon sect cupped his fists and said, "I dare not. I am just doing my duty." All the subordinates shouted in unison, "Young master means we have done well, and have earned his attention. We are willing to march through fire and water for the Gu family's borders, no matter the cost." Gu Chang'e turned around and said, "Good. Return to the Tian Palace." The scene shifted to the Supreme Arena. Gu Chang'e stood alone on the stage, gazing into the distance. Yan Ji stood at a distance and asked, "Young master, was this trip successful?" She thought to herself, "Before, I could still sense the dangerous aura from him, but now he is calm and unperturbed. His cultivation must have improved. Young Master Gu's talent is extremely rare, and his strength may now surpass mine." Gu Chang'e turned around and said, "Yan Ji, just in time, I have something for you to do." Yan Ji knelt before Gu Chang'e and said, "Young master, please give your orders." This made Gu Chang'e pause, extending his hand, "Ah. No need for that." Wai helped Yan Ji to stand up and softly said, "I need you to help me track down the whereabouts of a few people." Yan Ji asked, "Young master, who are you looking for?" Gu Chang'e clicked the notification in the toolbar and replied, "Yes, they've been missing from this world for more than a decade. Later, I'll have someone spread their news and leave it for you to handle." Wai took out a stack of talismans and handed them to her, saying, "Here, these are boundary-breaking talismans. Be careful with everything." Yan Ji was surprised and thought, boundary-breaking talismans? These are extremely rare life-saving treasures. She took the talismans and felt their preciousness. Gu Chang'e added, if you die, I will really feel very sad and guilty. This made Yan Ji somewhat shy. She replied, young master. She thought in her heart, such precious talismans, and the young master gave me so many. Gu Chang'e truly cares for me. Yan Ji firmly said, don't worry, young master. Yan Ji will never betray your trust. In an abandoned village, 2 beams of light cut through space, and 3 cultivators were fleeing. One of them said, sigh. This was once the ancestral land of the ancient Sun family, but now it's been destroyed. Like this. The woman casting a spell replied, there's nothing we can do. They offended the Taichu demon. Before she could finish, the woman behind her covered her mouth and sternly said, shoo. Don't mention that name. Are you looking to die? The 3 of them were flying on their swords, and the woman in front asked, what's going on? Suddenly, it started raining heavily from the sky, leaving everyone stunned. The woman behind asked, what's happening? The man in the group suddenly noticed something, breaking out in cold sweat and stammering, that's. A wide passage appeared on the sea, the water parted, revealing the seabed, and a powerful army emerged. On the flag at the front, 3 big words were written, Sea King Palace. The man asked, what's their plan with this formation? The pink-haired woman said, according to the senior who returned from the immortal ancient times, the 7th princess of the sea King Palace is dead. It seems this matter is related to the Gu family. The woman beside her asked, could it be for revenge? The scene shifted, and a crane flew across. Gu Chang'e was sitting beside the palace door, and at that moment, a green light appeared. The great elder, Gu Xiener, and the Gu family ancestor walked out. The ancestor laughed and said, ha ha ha, Xiener, how is it? Are you satisfied with the treasures from the martial race? The great elder said, Xiener, the trip to the immortal ancient has been very fruitful. You should properly thank your ancestor. Gu Xiener, linking arms with the 2, said, the ancestor is the best to me. Thank you, ancestor. This made the Gu family ancestor smile broadly. Gu Xiener added, of course, master is also extremely wonderful. This made the great elder laugh joyfully, saying, ha ha ha, this girl. Gu Chang'e stood up and cupped his hands, saying, welcome back, great elder and ancestor. This caused the 3 of them to be momentarily stunned. Then, the atmosphere shifted, and the great elder asked, Gu Chang'e, what are you doing here? Wai looked up and said, oh, it's only been a short time, and Xiener has made quite an improvement in her cultivation. I am also relieved to see this. Gu Xiener stood behind Gu Nanshan and made a face to tease him. Gu Chang'e said, Xiener, are you still resentful over that incident? When I was your age, I had already killed my way into the infinite sea by myself. Unlike you, who can't even handle the princess of the Sea King's palace. Gu Xiener angrily pointed at him and said, Gu Chang'e, stop pretending. Ancestor, suppress his cultivation. Xiener wants to slap his face hard. Gu Chang'e picked up his teacup and said, Xiener, don't think you can act arrogantly just because you have the support of the ancestor. Relying on others' power is not the righteous way. Don't let down the effort I've put in for you. Gu Xiener was both angry and surprised, and retorted, you aren't even embarrassed to say such things. The corpse of the ancestor of the martial clan isn't even cold yet. Ancestor, look at him. Gu Nanshan smiled bitterly and said, Xiener, this brat is despicable, but what he's saying is. Gu Xiener began to act coquettishly, didn't you promise to help me? Why are you favoring him now? The ancestor chuckled awkwardly, the ancestor is doing this for your own good. He thought to himself, it seems their feud isn't as deep as it used to be. Of course, I don't want you 2 siblings to fight to the death. Besides, this brat Gu Chang'e's strength, even I can't see through. If a fight truly happens, it will be Xiener who suffers. Gu Chang'e smiled and said, Xiener, do you know what the Sea King's palace is doing right now? Gu Xiener asked, the Sea King's palace? Then, she anxiously said, they aren't coming for revenge, are they? You were the one who killed them. Gu Chang'e grinned, this all started because of you, and they died because of you. Gu Chang'e thought. Now you definitely can't figure it out. Am I harming you or training you? But it's fine either way. This left Gu Xiener's mind in a mess. She said, ah. This smelly guy is so annoying, even more than Gu Chang'e. Gu Chang'e turned to the elder and said, I have something else to discuss with the elder. This made the elder think, what trick is he trying to pull now? Gu Chang'e said, the elder once guarded the immortal ancient, but now the immortal sect has emerged, and many strong figures are flocking to the immortal ancient. Such turmoil may destroy a dynasty. As long as the immortal ancient is not unified, the world will remain in chaos. This situation is also an opportunity for the Dao Tian Immortal Palace, isn't it? The elder was furious and shouted, almost spitting on Gu Chang'e's face, you still have the face to say that. Do you think this turmoil was caused by whom? The culprit is you. The Dao Tian Immortal Palace will not interfere in any faction disputes. This has been the tradition since ancient times. Luckily, Gu Chang'e dodged the spit in time. He said, well, speaking of which, elder, it seems you owe me a favor. Xiener is after all from the Gu family, and if you truly care about her, you should carefully consider my suggestion. Gu Xiener decisively said, Gu Chang'e, don't use me to make things difficult for my master. You must be scheming again. The elder began releasing his pressure, saying in a deep voice, are you threatening me? This also made Gu Nanshan fall into deep thought. Gu Chang'e cupped his hands and lowered his head, Gu Chang'e would never dare. I just wanted to remind the elder of Xiener's status. I hope the elder will think carefully. The elder, who didn't dare control the factions of the immortal ancient, had concerns, but Gu Chang'e didn't. Then, the elder released his might and laughed loudly, ha ha ha, so you were waiting for me just for this? What do you think I want to do most right now? His might spread, and everything around began to shatter. Gu Chang'e stood behind Gu Nanshan and said, it seems the elder misunderstood my intentions. Isn't the ancestor going to speak for me? The ancestor must also be watching from the sidelines, right? I'm speechless. Gu Xiener angrily scolded, Gu Chang'e, you're truly shameless. The elder sighed deeply. He said, your tone is so arrogant. How can a little junior like you control the factions of the immortal ancient? Even with your status, it is absolutely impossible. Gu Chang'e smiled and said, this is exactly what I am considering, elder, no need to worry. Gu Nanshan silently put away his cloak. The Grand Elder glared at him and said, I will agree if you swear that you will never harm Xiener in any way from now on. Moreover, your Gu family must acknowledge Xiener's identity. This left the three of them speechless. Gu Xiener shouted, Master. Gu Chang'e said, I don't know why, but I always feel like the people around me have malicious intentions towards me. The Grand Elder stroked his long beard and asked, will you agree or not? Gu Chang'e stroked his chin and said, swear. So I will forever be bound, unable to resist, while others can do whatever they want. Even if it costs me my life, this condition of the elder is too excessive. I hope you forgive me, but I need to consider this carefully. The Grand Elder smirked and said, this request is indeed not simple. If you don't agree, I can understand. But this ancient matter, I should have sworn first, I never expected you would be in this position today. However, a voice interrupted the Grand Elder's thoughts, almost making him lose focus and stumble. Gu Chang'e said, if this person is Xiener, then I will agree to this condition. He added, the Grand Elder is only protecting Xiener so much, even at the cost of going against the sect's principles. As Xiener's senior brother, what is this vow to me? Then, Gu Chang'e raised his hand and swore, I, Gu Chang'e, swear that from now on, I will never harm Xiener in any way and will restore her identity in the Gu family. If I break this vow, may my soul be scattered. Gu Xiener was shocked. In front of a huge city gate, shouts could be heard, Dao Tian Immortal Palace, hand over Gu Xiener. Dao Tian Immortal Palace, hand over Gu Xiener. A group of mermaid soldiers was confronting 5 disciples of the Immortal Palace. One of the Immortal Palace disciples said, "The Sea King's palace is making such a big move, it seems a conflict is unavoidable." Someone beside them said, "The Grand Elder has not returned, how should we respond?" The leader remained silent. At this moment, Gu Xiener appeared. She shouted loudly, "I'm here." One person causes trouble, one person takes responsibility. The leading disciple of the Immortal Palace shouted, "Junior Sister Xiener." The Sea King's palace commander, Hao Miao, sneered and said, "This little girl is bold, actually daring to come to her death. This way, she will suffer less." Gu Xiener felt cautious but could not sense his cultivation level. She asked, "Do you know how the 7th princess died?" Hao Miao asked, "Why?" Gu Xiener smiled and said, "Because her brother tried to harm me, and I killed him. And she was extremely biased, so she deserved to die too." Hao Miao said, "Do you think that with Dao Tian Immortal Palace backing you, you can do whatever you want?" Gu Xiener calmly replied, "I'm just stating the facts." Hao Miao said, "Then you'll pay with your life." As soon as he finished speaking, his figure shot toward Gu Xiener, his fist nearing her. Gu Xiener was terrified, cold sweat pouring down. "What's happening? This is bad." Just as she was panicking, Gu Chang'e appeared in time, blocking Hao Miao's attack. Gu Chang'e asked, "What do you think you're doing?" Hao Miao was shocked, "When did you?" Before he could finish speaking, he was kicked away. Gu Chang'e said, "A dignified great saint, actually openly attacking a little girl from the Sea King's palace, what a big face." Hao Miao asked, "You are Gu Chang'e, the young master of the Gu family, what does this mean? Do you want to shield her?" Gu Chang'e coldly replied, "What do you mean? Don't you understand? Xiener is from my Gu family, who are you to decide her life or death?" Gu Xiener was also stunned from behind. Hao Miao said, "Are you really willing to go to war with the Sea King's palace for a Gu Xiener, who was once expelled by the Gu family? I advise you to think carefully." Gu Chang'e stood in front of Gu Xiener and coldly said, "Xiener is the jewel of my Gu family, when did it become your right to bully her? If the Sea King's palace insists on attacking my sister today, then I'll kill all of you." 2 enormous ships appeared above Dao Tian Immortal Palace, radiating light, with purple energy intertwining with lightning. Hao Miao prepared to take out a decree, saying, "Kill us? Ha ha ha. The young master of the Gu family has a big mouth. If you want to protect her, don't blame me." He unfolded the decree and shouted, "The Sea King has ordered that Gu Xiener must be captured today, to avenge the 7th princess." The subordinates behind him shouted in unison, "Avenge the 7th princess." Gu Chang'e coldly asked, "With you guys, what does the Sea King even count as?" Gu Chang'e leaped into the air, shouting, "The will of Taichu, enter my body." In an instant, a purple energy began to circulate around Gu Chang'e's body. Hao Miao below also unleashed a monstrous surge of water, roaring, with blue and purple light intertwining in the sky. Hao Miao yelled, "Gu Chang'e, do you think I'm just here to watch the show?" Gu Chang'e thought to himself, "No, you are just a moving tool." In the sky, purple and blue lights intertwined and merged, ripping apart the entire continent. The subordinates of Dao Tian Immortal Palace screamed, "This is the secret technique of the Taichu demon sect. I can't believe it has such power in Gu Chang'e's hands, capable of countering a great sage's power." Another subordinate shouted with all his strength, "If it weren't for the runes protecting Dao Tian ancient city, it would have been destroyed by now." The mermaids in the enemy camp were also enveloped in purple light and could not resist. After a fierce battle, Gu Chang'e stood in the air and said, "A great sage is nothing. If you seek justice today, remember, in Dao Tian Immortal Palace, my words are justice." Hao Miao roared, "Little girl, the Gu family is bullying us too much. Gu Xiener killed my Sea King Palace's people first, and now you stop us with your arrogance. What are you pretending to be, a good person? The events of the past are no longer a secret, you and her have been at odds, can you really reconcile?" Are you willing to damage the reputation?